Welcome to Soundwave TV. We have a very special guest tonight at backstage at the Soundwave Festival in Sydney, the mighty Devin Townsend.
Mighty.
You are mighty.
Why, thank you, as are you.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's a wonderful pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so how's your day been? You just...
Well, we were just talking about this before the cameras turned on. It's like, for me as a musician, there's this weird transition thing. I mean, I love to make music, and I mean, every day that goes by, I think I get a little dumber, to be honest, right? It's like, when you're 21, you're just like, this is what it's all about. This is the meaning of life. And then, you're 40 and you're like, okay, as long as I can pee in public, I'm okay at this point, right? And so we haven't played for 3 months, and there's this transition every time. Like my frame of me as a person, like shifting gears for me sucks. It's like going from fifth on the freeway into reverse. And for the past 3 months, I've been a dad and doing shit around the house and working and
life stuff.
Taking kids to school and my parents and and then all of a sudden yesterday we're here and and again I find it very strange that I actually am doing this professionally because I'm just like, oh, I guess this is what we do for a living, I mean, hey, it's cool, we're in Australia, it's fun, right? But there's just a lot of people and it's like this weird high school clique. And I was talking to some buddies of mine in another band, and they're about my age, and I'm like, I really like them. They're good people, right? Like straight up, I like them, right? And they said they got onto the bus yesterday, and they were just like, they felt like they were like the uncool kids that couldn't find a place to sit because all the buses are full of these bands, and everybody's got like sunglasses on and like these crazy tattoos, and the one loud guy was just like rock and blah blah blah, right? Look at me, I like stuff, right? And then we're just like, I'm under the bag of marbles in my fucking smelly suit, and I'm just like, I just don't want, it's just like the social element of it. I feel like I'm in school again. So I've been in the hotel, like hiding in my room because every time I was in the elevator the other day, and the elevator opens up and there's like 5 people I kind of know. Like, you talk to him, and, he's like, hey, I'm Jimmy Bozo, right? And I'm like, hey. And then open the door, and I was like, I know I've had a conversation with these guys. I got nothing to say to them. And they're like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, oh. And as soon as we got in the elevator, I started pressing buttons. And I was like, this is my floor. And I got out.
I gotta go.
And that was it. And it wasn't because I didn't like him. It wasn't because I was like, it was just because I was like, fuck, man, it's just so weird to have to go from real life to this sort of arrested development, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's really cool. And I was just saying to the guy who brought me here, after about 3 days, I can get all glassy-eyed and talk about anything to almost anybody, right? But I'm still
honesty
on the second
Tourette's.
day. Well, that's it. That's why I stopped drinking, actually, because now if somebody's talking about me, like, hey, what do you think of stuff, right? And I'll be like, oh, it's really interesting. It's really. But I used to have a drink. I'd be like, I don't fucking care. Like, you know what I mean? How could you be so stupid? Why would you talk about something like that? Like, really, that interests you? Like, you can't be serious, right? But I'm just like, well, because it extends further than just musical associates. It's also like people at the post office and other kids' parents and stuff like that. So I was like, you might want to curb some of those tendencies.
Take a moment. Is it hard kind of creating in a sober kind of place? I mean, it's a kind of building new connections in your brain.
Well,
I mean, it's been a few years,
that's
but
it,
it's like it's neuroplasticity essentially.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the rewards of it for me came from breaking past the musical constipation, because it's like I had so much of my process invested in this routine, and even in terms of just explaining how it is for me to shift gears, my routines are something that once I get into a pattern, it takes a lot of effort for me to switch up, and I find that I can, right, which is encouraging. But I used to have 4 or 5 bong rips and 2 large coffees and sit on the patio and write a verse for 10 hours, right? Never got to the chorus because I was like, dude, check it out, man. And then when that stopped, that process no longer existed, and I had no idea how to write. And I went through this process of going, well, maybe it was all weed, maybe it was all drink, maybe I actually can't write. But I was okay with that.
Yeah. And
then once it did come back, it came back in such a way that all I had to do was relearn, like you say, once you reconnect those pathways in a different format, now, I mean, God, I can't keep up with it. I got so much music. It's like,
Well, you just, yeah, I mean, a four-way epic
yeah, oh, and
journey.
I'm
You just
recording one next week.
yeah.
We're doing a record in Perth, and then I'm doing a movie for Ziltoid. And but
Excellent. Yeah, yeah.
you know, it's funny. It's like the musical part of my life. That's easy, man. That's cake. It's like I'm so lucky to get to play music, right? But I heard a great quote the other day. It's like, to be a professional musician, you don't get paid to play music or write music. You get paid for the 23 hours of traveling and like talking to idiots and like, you know, the whole works, right? That's what it takes to be a musician. If you can do that, you're okay, right? So for me, writing, I mean, it's my hobby as well. So, you know, when I'm not out being a jackass, I write music.